Well, hello, Miss Wendy. I had I was running for a lazy day. I was really lazy. I scheduled it for 9:05, and I thought I'd be ready by 9:05. Here it is, 9:09. Anyway, how are you? Hope you and Ray are doing well. I'm assuming y'all are probably out and driving. Is it raining up there? It is raining and cloudy and not really cold, but cool all day. And as the title of this live stream goes, it's a great day for a lazy day, or at least that's what's on the thumbnail. Definitely a lazy day. I have been car shopping and watching YouTube and doing absolutely nothing. I did manage to wash the dishes I had in the sink, which I was really proud that I actually had dishes in the sink because I don't cook. So there's that. But yeah, I managed to wash the dishes that was in the sink, and let's see, I did get the security camera and put it on my desk in there to get ready to do the product review, but didn't quite make it for that. It's still sitting there, but dishes are done for the moment. What's bad is, here I've been really, really busy looking through Car Guru, Car Tempest, or whatever it's called. Uh, and I forgot to eat. I did make me a breakfast burrito this morning. Well, actually, it's probably about 11, 12 o'clock. I guess that'd be for lunch. Didn't realize what time it was, and I didn't eat. And then most of the restaurants where I live close at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Besides, like Taco Bell, McDonald's, and Whataburger, which it may be a Whataburger right here in a little bit. But I can't stay up too late because I have an 11:30 date tomorrow. Apparently, it's my youngest granddaughter's Thanksgiving lunch at school, and I was told she wanted me to be there, so I'm going to try to make that. Uh, Anyhow, hope y'all are doing well, and if any of the Door Dashers out there that want to make a $20 tip, if you'll run to Whataburger for me, I wished it was that cheap, but probably for what is it going to be about 12 or 13 bucks at Whataburger. Then DoorDash is probably going to add on 6 or 7 bucks on top of that, and then you got the very minimum $5 tip. So for a $12 burger, it's going to cost you about 25 bucks. I guess I'll have to get out. Maybe it's not raining now. I can't really tell now. It's dark. My little lake at the end of the driveway earlier, I could see the rain hitting it, and in my bird feeder, or bird bath. But it's dark out there now, so everything is in black and white. The yard is full of leaves, and I don't even have trees that have leaves in the front yard. They're like I had one guy tell me what they were. They're kind of like a cedar. They're really tall like a pine, but they're some sort of cedar. But and those they have little balls that drop off of them to make a mess. I have to take the leaf blower out there and blow them all off. Anyway, I'm just rattling, and I just thought about it. I was supposed to look for a cord for this today. The day's not over, right? Anyway, I don't know which way this weather was going. I don't know if y'all are going to be getting it up your way or what. Hello, Lisa. Hope you're doing well. I'm just fixing to look at the radar real quick. I don't know if we have more rain coming or not. No, it looks like it's pretty well blown through here. But does look like it was heading up y'all's way, Wendy. Let's see. Tulsa. I don't know if it'll make it up there or not. It's still in Oklahoma. Sorry, I fell asleep last night. I did too. About 2 o'clock. No worries. No worries at all. It wasn't nothing exciting, just hanging out. We're supposed to get it. It just started sprinkling. Well, I had to switch over to the Oklahoma City radar because my radar that's a little closer in Frederick, Oklahoma, apparently was offline. I don't know. But, it does look like there's a little rain in Wichita, Kansas, heading towards Emporia. Oh, I don't know. At least it's not snow. It's not going to be long. Instead of it going this way, it's going to be coming this way. And I was really hoping to get a vehicle by then, but because what's killing me is I'm upside down on my car. That puts a hurting when you're trying to find something. Not terribly upside down, but as high the interest rates as I'm paying, very little has been going to the principal. So I guess what I need to start doing is adding like 50 to $100 a month. And I don't know if they'll let me do that. I'll have to look and see. But hello, Kason. How are you? I've been sitting right here in front of this computer all day looking at vehicles and not having any luck. I did think I was going to have one bought, but they wouldn't they either needed to come down on their price or up on what they offered me for mine. But I want an e-bike for Christmas. I want a new pickup for Christmas. I think both of us are going to have the same luck. Yeah, your mama told me that you was wanting an e-bike, but I can't afford those. Those are expensive for a good one. But I might could buy your remote control e-bike. Hello, pork chop. Hopefully next year will be a little different and a little better than this year. You'll still get something for Christmas, okay? So you just need to figure out what you. Yeah, there's one. She was showing me that's 175. That's pretty darn cheap because most of them are about $1,200 and up. I don't think they're allowed to take extra money towards payments. Yeah, I didn't even hear anything from the China Dolls last night. I think they kind of got the message. I did get a couple of emails on other things from or other people, which one of them I did accept in case I do get a SUV or something. It's kind of cool. I mean, it has little suction cups. It's for a shade, and you stick little suction cups on the top of your vehicle, and then it's a tarp that goes out and it's got poles. So basically, you can sit beside your car. But if you're out camping or something, or pulled up beside the lake, you could put that thing out, sit under it in the shade while you fished or whatever. So you saw one for 14,000. That doesn't surprise me. Some of them are really expensive. They have some of those e-bikes. I'll see where was it Bass Pro Shop. I looked at some, and they were like 1,800, something like that. Had the big fat tires on it. I haven't even gotten any electric scooters lately. You know, I got mine, then I got another one, and that's the only ones I got. So, who knows? And that's another thing that's keeping me from. It's in the back of my head, but you can't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. But I don't want to settle for just any vehicle for the simple fact I don't know what my finances are going to be come next year. You know, they're either going to be worse or they could be better. Hey, just a question: could I get 486? I am sitting there starving, and you're wanting money. Reread what I wrote. Said they've not allowed to not. Oh, they're not allowed to not accept. Okay, I'm gonna have to check on that and see if I can add because the the principal is like 206, and then the rest of my, I think payments 420. So whatever 20, I think it was 206 goes to principal. The rest of it is the interest and all kinds of stuff. Let me see. You're in luck, Casey. Where are you? You hadn't changed nothing on your Cash App, have you? And don't be asking for money every other day. I am such a pushover. Oh, wait a minute. How I got two of them? Don't put it in the. Oh, I died from. They're getting a little circle there. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for is lower that principal because that one car lot, I'm just going to tell you, I mean, there's no big secret. They went and had me put my information on my car in Kelly Blue Book. It's what's the value of your car, and you put that in, and it was $89.95. Which, if I was selling it myself, I could sell it for, I think it's at 14, something like that. Uh, but then I don't know. I could. I need to pay my principal down. So I'm getting all uh, confused. Uh, but the Yukon I wanted payment. I mean, the vehicle price was right. I could have done that if they'd have fixed a few little things that they. Hello, Ray. So, Casey, you didn't answer me. Is it the one that ends in money? Why are you up anyway? You should be going to bed. Uh, but okay, when I think it would made me uh, 12. I think it's 1260. So about 12 to $1,300 upside down. That was my issue. I hope that works. Oh, I gotta add a note, really? There you go. now I got to work an extra month. Not, we're upside down now. Yeah, no, not too far upside down. That's what I told him on the Yukon. I said, if you could drop the payment, the amount on the Yukon by about $1,200, or go up on mine about $1,200, because good and well, if they give me not say $9,000 for mine, they're going to put it on the car lot for about $14,000. So they could still add $1,000 to mine anyway, and still make good money on it. And it's clean. I've got one door dent in the front left fender. That's it. Everything else on that car is perfect. Interior, motor, tires, everything. It's clean. So I'm just wanting a bigger ride, and it's easier to get in and out of a pickup or an SUV or something like that. They should have been able to work around that. And they're wanting what it came out is they was wanting, it was 13% interest, which is a lot better than what I've got right now, and that's still not good. But $501 a month for 74 months. And I told them I'd do 72 months at $420 a month and just keep my payment the same. But what I really think happened, the salesman texted me, and we'd been kind of conversing back and forth, and I told him what I thought happened, and he did not elaborate on what I said, because when I test drove it, it had. All right, thank you. Well, I'm going to bed now. Good night. All right, good night. I love you. When you went to take off, worst I've ever seen interest was, wow, I can't imagine 32.5. I'm paying 19.64, something like that right now. But when you went to take off in the Yukon, you can feel it kind of pop. And me and the kid, the salesman, thought it sounded like a motor mount. Now the good thing about that Yukon though, and that's kind of why I wanted it. It had 133,000 miles on it, but that motor was replaced at 89,000, I think. So it only has like 53,000 miles on that motor, which I thought that was a huge plus right there. Of course, the rest of it, you still got the 133,000 miles of wear and tear on, but for that big of a vehicle, and it had a perfect maintenance record. But anyway, I think the motor mount was bad, and at about 75, the front end was shaking, which could just be an alignment, but it could also be like a tie rod or something like that. And when you hit a little dip, it just kind of floated. It's not that Yukon, which I found out later because I thought they all had the little airbags in the back, but those are only on the Denali. But the regular Yukons, they don't have those airbags. So I think the shocks were a little bit bad on the back end. So between possible motor mount, front end alignment or whatever, or if it was the tie rods, what I think happened is they took it back to their shop. Their mechanic wrote them an estimate of what it would cost to fix it, and they found out they didn't have enough money, enough leeway to come off of the price any. I think that's what happened. I think it's going to cost them more to fix it than what they was wanting to do. Anyway, that's what I told the kid, and he didn't acknowledge what I wrote at all. So that even makes me think more about that. But I told him, I said, if you will get what needs to be fixed, and put a trailer hitch on it, because that Yukon doesn't have a trailer hitch. And I found out originally it was a rental, And when rental companies order new vehicles, even if it normally has a towing package with them, they have it. They don't get it with the towing package because they don't want people towing vehicles or towing trailers with their rentals. So it doesn't have the trailer hitch. But I told him, I said, if you got everything fixed, put a trailer hitch on it. I might go up, to say 450, 460 at 72 months. And he told me I needed to look for something around 15,000 in order to keep my payments around 420. There's nothing out there for 15,000 that's 4-wheel drive, leather interior, and that's pretty much what I really wanted. I want the leather interior, and I would prefer 4-wheel drive. It's not that we get bad weather a lot. It's just it would be nice to have in some of the places that I used to go fishing. I'd like to go fishing at again, and you can't get in there with like my car. There's no way you can get in there with my car. And some of them young folks go out there and play after it rains, and they dig some big old ruts with their big 4x4s. And if I just had a standard 4-wheel drive, I don't need it all lifted and all that, but I wouldn't have any problem getting in and out where I like to go fishing. And that's kind of why I want the 4-wheel drives, because I want to be able to do that. And if I get back up to New Mexico or Colorado, they've got forest roads that you can't get up. I tried when I had a Toyota Camry. We went to Red River, New Mexico, and I tried to turn up one of the forest roads, and I got in about 1/8 of a mile, and it started getting steeper, and my front wheels just started spinning. It didn't have enough traction to get down a forest road. But anyway, that's why I want the 4-wheel drive. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Ray. I guess what I really need to do is, and I told the salesman, I said, I'm not in that big a hurry. It's not like my car's broken down or I'm without a car or something like that. I've got a car and ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just hard to get in and out of. And I want something a little bigger so I can haul stuff, take it to Bowie and stuff like that. But yeah, I probably need to just try to pay a little extra on the principal, get my upside down more level, and then hello, the photographer. Mushy, mushy. I did order a 16 millimeter lens. Really like it. Actually, and it could be all in my head, but that 16 millimeter Canon lens seems a little bit sharper than the 35 millimeter. I didn't what do you call it? Pixel pick. But I didn't get, because I watched some videos and they was talking about some bowing on the edges. I really didn't see that. Anyway, yeah, I did get it. It works perfect for the overhead shots. The last video I did, I'm going to have to remember next time to move my what do you call it, the overhead crane arm thing more to the center of my table, because I wound up with my feet. You could see my feet. So I had to crop it in a little bit. Not a big deal. But yep, I really like it. My next purchase will be an SD card. I've only got one, and it's the V60, and I want the V90. And I don't know if it's a Canon thing or if it's just because it's a cheaper SD card. Let's see, it's the Pony, the PNY. This one. It's the V60, but occasionally when I put it in the camera, it'll quit recording and it'll say write speed was too slow. So I'm going to probably try the SanDisk V90, which they're $200, but maybe Black Friday they will drop. They did drop a few weeks ago to like 169 or 179, but I think I'll just wait. And I think a 256 is plenty just for, mainly shooting here. If I was, taking a trip or something, I might at least want two of them or one 512 or something. But I think the 256 will be fine. But I think the write speed needs to be a little faster. I know the V60 should be fine, and it is 90% of the time, but occasionally it's not. I was deleting some clips off that card, and the bad thing is I did a review on a headset, and I don't even know who sent it. I don't have a clue. I went through my emails, tried to find it. It sounded pretty good. Actually, that video I think came out today on Random Reviews, and it actually sounded pretty good, but I don't know who sent it. I'm waiting for somebody to send me an email to Samsung. I haven't priced those. I do remember that those was like the top one of the top ones, but anyway, yeah, I'm just waiting for an email from somebody that says, "Have you got this product in yet? Are you going to do the video?" Unless they look at the product page on Amazon and see that it's there. Let's see, Amazon USA. I was just going to see how much that Samsung was. 256. Oh, wow. Oh, it's bringing up the Samsung phone. That's a V30. I should have put in the V9. I wonder if you can. Yeah, I'll just put it here. I'm just kind of curious now. But I figured a lot of these are probably going to sell 149. Oh, that's not. No, that's not it. Do they make the V9 189.99 on SanDisk? I'm not finding one from. Oh, here we go. No, that's the V30. We go to V. Does Samsung even make the V90? Kodak makes a V. Kodak makes one. Wow. Lexar. That's a V90. It's 164. 189 for SanDisk. I'm not finding one from Samsung and the V90. They've got the V30s. They're cheap enough, but 30, probably 62.99, 210 for the V90. And I'm not real sure that PNY is that great. I don't know. V30 won't work. It will not work on a 4K. I don't know about that brand, but I've had V30s that I had in my GoPros, and they they drop frames. The V60 is pushing it. Yeah, I don't know. Hello, Steve. How are you? I've had a lazy day. I've been car shopping, and I had me a nice. I was looking at, and I thought about it when you came in. I had, a, I, I was daydreaming. Uh, I was looking at a Yukon, a used Yukon, and I was planning me out a trip to end up in St. George, Utah, and I had routed me up through New Mexico into the southern part of Colorado, over back down into New Mexico, and then after you get out of that area, there ain't much to see until you get over to Utah. But man, I had me a route and everything. I got it saved. Where did I save that to? Because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Road trip, here it is. Yeah, Santa Rosa on up in the Rio Grande National Forest, Pagosa Springs. And from what I've learned on ChatGPT, if I was taking this trip in December, I would want to stay around Pagosa Springs, because if I stayed more up towards the north, and that Pagosa Springs is about halfway, but I guess it goes up a lot, and they said it gets down into single digits at night. And I'd be sleeping, and if I'd have got that Yukon, but I didn't get it. So this is still my ideal little road trip. It had me staying right up in here somewhere. Yeah. Well, you can kind of see. Anyway, that would have been a really fun trip. Good night, Miss Wendy. Hope you have a wonderful one. Stay warm. But yeah, I don't know about vehicles. And that's another reason why I was wanting the four-wheel drive, is because I want to be able to. I was talking about it a while ago, Steve, is when I went to Red River, New Mexico. When I went there, I had a Toyota Camry, and when you turn up some of those forest roads, I got about an eighth of a mile up, and the front tires just started spinning. It would not climb, and wound up having to turn around. And had I had, just a standard 4x4, just regular Yukon or something like that, it would have been fine. Because those forest roads was, if you get way back up in there where the Jeeps and stuff go. But where I'd go, nah, it'd be fine. Nothing to see but skinwalkers in the park. Brandon, if you get to Durango, I have an amazing place you can stay, and I could meet you there. Slick House free. Oh, cool. Where is Durango? Is my Mac going through Durango? There's Pagosa Springs. Tell me which way I need to go. Sure. Okay. I'm in 50 miles west of Pagosa. There's Chimney Rock. I've heard of Chimney Rock from something. I don't know if it's an old truck an old truck driver story my dad used to tell. I don't know why I know that name, but I know that name from something. Maybe they made an old western there or something. There's something about Chimney Rock that sounds familiar, and I don't have a clue what it is. Ringo's after Chimney Rock. We're on 160. Oh, there's Durango. Well, yeah. I mean, if you were going to be there and I was taking that road trip, I'd definitely. I mean, that's not that much further. And it was showing from because me and ChatGPT was coming up with this road trip because just from here to St. George, there's really nothing much to see. I mean, it was talking about the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo and Paladero Canyon, and that Cadillac Ranch is a joke. You know, the name is bigger than the the attraction, in my opinion. But anyway, but so I thought, well, I can take my camera and do some really pretty pictures. I don't have a big zoom, but you don't. You're up in it. You really don't need that big of a zoom. So, yeah, it's like 16 hours. I believe it was 16 hours. Well, going this way, uh, 21 hours, and that's going up into Colorado and then back down into New Mexico. But once you get out of probably over in here, you see where, yeah, right in there, probably ain't much to see. And it was talking about Zion National Forest, but that's only like an hour from where my son lives. So I thought I wouldn't want to, I'd go pick them up and then we could all go over there and take pictures and walk around. But I just thought it would be fun to go camping up in there. I know December and January and February is probably not ideal, but if you had 4-wheel drive, and as long as you wasn't up too high, and because of the battery I've got now, according to ChatGPT, I could run a heating mattress cover and a heated blanket and be fine at 20 to 25 degrees, but it won't run a heater unless you found a park somewhere that had electricity. But I'd rather be away from everybody. My best friends own 3 restaurants in Durango and have 5-bedroom houses on Mountaintop. They have a guest house over a 3-car garage and stationed RV at the top of the mountain. Oh, that's cool. That would be nice. And I don't know. I'd even compared this to flying, and I would have to get a ride to DFW. I would like to get up there, no joke. But if I drove or if got my sister or somebody to take me to DFW, that's going to cost me a little bit in gas. Not a big deal. But then the ticket is like for a round trip ticket from DFW, and St. George has got a big airport. I didn't know they had a big airport, but apparently they do. I don't know if I thought I might have to fly into Vegas and then get my son to pick me up there because it's not that far from St. George. But you're looking at, $500 to fly, which I know is not much cheaper than it's with, according to ChatGPT, the gas mileage that Yukon gets, It would cost me about $405, $401 round trip to drive because I wouldn't have no motel or anything like that because I was planning on sleeping in the vehicle. Oh, Durango Airport, yeah. Yeah, I personally rather drive because I like road trips. And, it may get to be one of these days I won't be able to do that. And I would like to be able to do it while I still can. I don't know. Anyway, I did this the other night instead of working, and today I've just been looking at cars and or SUVs and pickups. Augusta has amazing hot springs and really cool yurt rentals. Really? Huh. Yeah. This would have. There was talking about some waterfalls somewhere that freeze, and it makes really good photo ops. Hottest silver hot springs in the country. Cool. But that's what I was just looking at the adventure, and then I was thinking that would be a heck of a comeback for Dirty Shoes Adventures YouTube channel. You know, 60-year-old travels halfway across the United States alone. Solo. What do they call it? Solo campers, solo vagabonds. I don't know. I thought, man, that would make some good video. But St. Mary's Glacier. Is that? I said that was around Pagosa. I remember Pagosa Springs. That was part of that song. What was it? Convoy. One of the old truck driving songs is talking about Pagosa Springs. Wolf Creek Passway across the Great Divide, trekking on down the other side. Yeah, and I think, was it this route? One of the routes that I'd looked at, you drive under the Continental Divide and under, I guess it goes through the mountain. I guess there's a highway over there or something. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, just to experience it. I doubt you could really get any good pictures. But I don't know. Wolf Creek, second most North American snowfall and snowboarding skiing. Yeah, well, some of the stuff I was looking up was telling me if I was going to stay on some of them forest roads, depending on the weather, I could stay here. But if you're not, you need big 4x4s, and in some of it they don't recommend at all. And I do remember when we was up in Colorado, what, last year before last, some of those roads closed during certain times of the year. I remember seeing signs. I don't know. It was a nice daydreaming thing. But it's definitely doable. I mean, $400 for a road trip like this, and I get to go see my son and grandson. That would be cool. But I know between here and probably what, well, really, I've been to Santa Fe. There ain't much to see in Santa Fe. Bunch of rude people. That's all I saw. No, that wasn't Santa Fe. That might have been Tahoe's. No, I think it was Santa Fe, where they have the I think it's Santa Fe where they have the actual Indian. It's outside of town, but their community. But even if you park down the street and try to take a picture of it, that the guard up there where you have to drive through starts yelling at you, "Don't take pictures!" And I wasn't even on the grounds. I was an eighth of a mile from them. I should do it anyway. I really will meet you in Durango and got you covered with amazing food and free place to stay on the way to see your son and grandson. I would like, and if I went in my car, it would even be cheaper because I'd be getting 30 miles to the gallon. So I could probably do that, but it wouldn't be as comfortable as a bigger vehicle. I do know that. I would trust my car's got 122,000 miles on it, but I would trust it. I've had zero issues with it. I think tires is the only thing I've done to that car. Knock on wood, something will happen to it now that I said that. How far the driver than Wichita Falls from Durango? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Dang it. Well, hello, Caleb. I was just talking about you. I don't know how long you've been here, but I was talking about. I was trying to buy a Yukon, and I was going to take a road trip. 11 hours and 3 minutes to Durango from Wichita. Yeah, well, actually, here was if I would have got the Yukon, here was my plan or my thought is follow me along here. And I went this route because of being able to take pictures and scenery and probably now I would probably stay in Durango, but I planned on staying in Pagosa Springs, and then there would be my final destination. 16-hour drive. Going that way, it's 19 hours. And it was talking about Zion National Park or something. But from what I read, that's only like an hour from where you live. So I thought it would be silly for me to go there when if I had the Yukon, if I was able to get it, I could come pick y'all up and maybe all y'all could be off work and we could go over there. That was my thought. Granted, I was looking at December, but I don't know how pretty it would be. It might be too cold. I don't know. Not bad. One long day drive. Get in at night. Yeah. Stay at Durango next day night. And then leave to see your son. Yeah, Caleb is my son, the one that's on here now. Surprising. Yeah, Zion. Yeah, I figured that's where that picture of you and Charlie by that little stream. I figured it was somewhere like that. I want to go places like that. I want to see y'all. I want to take pictures. And that would be cool. I've never been up there because I refuse to pay. Oh, is it cost? I did read something about you have to, it's cheap because they say the parking lot fills up real quick, but you can get a shuttle and that's easier. So if we get to do this, if I get to do this, then of course, we'll have to plan it. That way, y'all are off. But I looked into flying from DFW into St. George, and I think it was $502 or something like that. And I could drive for 400 and according to ChatGPT and the gas mileage a Yukon gets, It was like $405 to drive. But look at what all you get to see on the drive. But just driving straight from here without going up into into Colorado, there wasn't much to see. Desert, and I'm not really into deserts because I already live in one, pretty much. Reach in Durango, and I'll get a few days figured out for accommodation. Seriously, it's one of the very few places I can offer this. I'll fly into Vegas. I don't know. I was just thinking about, because I'd already have to get Jamie or somebody to take me to DFW. So I just was trying to make it easier. But I think driving would be so much funner. I love driving. Well, thank you, Steve, for that offer. I don't know what Caleb's schedule is, and I don't know where I lost Durango. Listen, how far? So that's 11 hours. Let's see what that would be. Oh, it's 7 hours basically. That would be cool. I could just drive to St. George and kidnap him and Charlie and Sierra and drive back to Durango. Yeah, that last trip to Colorado. Hoping for the route you're looking at now is beautiful Colorado. What you were looking at for your last trip, yeah, that we where did me and Emily go? I remember it was Monarch Pass, and we drove over to. Where they had the casinos, and it was of course, Colorado's full of mining. Gunnison. I just saw it. That we went to Gunnison there. As nice as that sounds, we can't afford the days off after our vacation. Eastbound Colorado Springs. Oh, the takeoff. Well, yeah, I wasn't impressed with Gunnison, and you had to drive. Where's that Monarch Pass? Because it seemed like everywhere we went, you had to go across that Monarch Pass to go see anything. I mean, it was a fun road trip. No, and I don't regret it. It was a fun road trip, but there was a lot prettier places I'd like to have seen. Very nice, Steve. Eastbound in Colorado. Monarch passes Highway 50 through middle of the state. Yeah. Well, Caleb, if I wind up getting a vehicle, or if I end up going to Durango, well, we'll have to text and find out when y'all can get off, for at least the afternoon. Or maybe you'd let me crash out on the couch or in the pallet in the floor. Because yeah, that's what I was seeing. DFW to Vegas has round trip flights for under three. Oh, wow. Oh, for sure. Well, cool. I'd hate to drive that far and say, hi, I gotta go. Charlie's bed. Not like he's ever in it. Don't tell me he's in there on the game all the time. I'm surprised he don't have the game in his room. You did. Yeah, see, there's really nothing between right. Can you see the cursor? Can't hardly see the cursor. Between here and until you get all the way over to Utah, there's really nothing. I don't know. I've heard they're super cheap because they think you're going to stay in the hotel and casinos. Yeah, that's probably true. As is excellent. That Yukon I was looking at it was a 2017 model, but I don't think it's going to happen because it could happen if I want to pay 501 a month for 74 months. I told him if earlier when I was texting, I said, I'll go to 74 months or 75 months. That was 75 months. I said, I'll go to 75 months if you can keep my payment around 420. I would have went to 450, but I'm not going. I know it's only $50 more, but and in all reality, I could make the $100 up in one day. Just go turn Spark on, work Spark one day, and I'm done. That makes $100 right there. 2 days at most, but that's every month, and I just don't have time to do that. I don't know. Denver to Vegas direct always under 100. They used to have out here at Municipal Airport, which is the big airport for Wichita Falls. They used to have a what do they call it? Red eye, and you could fly to Vegas for like 150 bucks. But it was just oddball times, like 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Body Stone. There it is. 2019. It was 4x4. It was nice too. It's almost like the Denali I had. And the motor got replaced at what I say earlier, 84,000, I think. And see that I could put my full size air mattress in there. Plenty of room for all of us to drive over to Zion. Anyway, what's that app where you can drive someone's car to the state it needs to go? Yeah. Man, I hadn't even thought about that one in a while. There was a lady that I used to watch her YouTube channel. That's what she did. She drove RVs too. She would get vans, RVs, and she would transport them, and you can stay in them. You just had to keep them clean and stuff. Great. Was it Draver? That might have been it. But yeah, that'd be cool. I just can't do 501 a month. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Yeah, I think Draver was yet. Yeah, I watched a lot of her videos, and she would pick up like an RV and like say Vegas, and she would drive it to like Miami, and you got paid for it, and they paid for the gas, and you had free accommodations. Yeah, I'd have to get on. I probably got her on Dash and Grandpa, but I don't remember. My whole thing is, I don't know what I know what I want, but can you spark wherever you are, different states? As far as I know, you can. I don't. Well, different states. I don't know. Different towns, I know you can, but different states, you're going to have different taxes. So I don't know if you would have. I don't know. Because like if you go over to Oklahoma has a state tax. Texas doesn't. And I don't know if that would change up your app. I don't think it would. I don't know. Driver was one. There was another big East Coast. But, yeah, and there was another app that I looked at because I remember, and I almost did it because it was picking up paintings, artwork in San Antonio, Texas, and it went to Denver, Colorado. And it was like 600 or 700 bucks. And, if it would fit in a car, it's 7 hours from here to go south to San Antonio. And then 14 hours from San Antonio, probably to Denver. We got Utah has state taxes, and the state tax returns are hilariously cute, like $60. I don't know. I'm surprised Texas never did it, but I don't know. Just checks. Yes, you can drive for Walmart Spark in multiple states by changing your zone in the app. There you go. You're in a new state. You will need to select the new zone. Zip code for your current location and app will show up available zones. Well, see there, Caleb, if I came out there, while y'all were at work, I could turn on Walmart Spark and I could do some sparking and pay for my gas back home. It would be fun to come out there for a few days. So I really wanted to. I had planned the trip out and everything, but I just had to wait and make sure I got the vehicle and they fixed the things that they're supposed to fix. But we'll see. Who knows? And like I said a while ago, technically speaking, since Steve offered the place to stay in Durango, I wouldn't have to worry about sleeping in my car, so I could easily drive my car. That driving sparking along the way might make for a fun content for you. Yeah, it would. Heck yeah, you could be one of those people who buzz around outside there. Yeah. Hey, Steve, that's an idea because if I made content along the way, would that not count as? I need to find a tax person, but that would be mileage. A tax deducted, technically vacation. I see them all the time when I pick up groceries. Might be lucrative here with all the old people. Oh, it might be. It used to be here. It wasn't nothing to make $150 a day. 100 to 150. Most every day it was 125. And that's hard to beat. But I haven't done. I'm still active on it, but I haven't done a spark probably since February or March. Yeah, it's for business, no doubt. But I've got to find somebody that does taxes because I've got to figure out what I need to do because I have no deductions. Because, like I said, I didn't do Spark at all this year. Well, February or March, I think, was the last one. So I don't have any mileage to take off to speak of. When I go into Wichita Falls to do a review, I'll turn on my mileage tracker, but that's not going to add up to much. But I need somebody that tells me how much I can take off from this office, technically the whole house, because I use the whole house to video in, but you're only going to get a percentage. So you can cross over and live stream and set on both Dirty Shoes and Dashing Grandpa. Give you a big kickstart. Yeah. And yes, you can absolutely write it off, especially if you live live stream vlog the content. Yeah, well, Dashing Grandpa's channel is changing up January 1st, but it still can be whatever. It's going to be a very flexible channel. But I think it's going to be funner. Start getting content back on there and be a lot more of what. I'll throw this out there. A lot of people ask a lot of questions and they're not all gig related. And that has to do with a little bit of what the new channel is going to be about. Your channel is very flexible too. Flexibility is key, yeah. And the trend on YouTube is authenticity. For Office Space, if it was an exclusive workspace, you write it off based on the square footage. Well, what it'd be 200 square foot, wouldn't it? Well, isn't it length times width divided by whatever? So this, but see, I use the living room for my studio, office for my work, living room for the studio. So that's what I say. And I know you can take off part of your cell phone because, which not so much anyway, but I don't really use my cell phone for nothing. It's usually taking thumbnail pictures or sometimes I video with it. I don't play games on it and I don't really talk on it to hardly any. Emily's about the only one I talk to on the phone. My mom is texting. Anybody else is a text. So probably 80% of my phone is work. Marissa in Boulder is professional CPA. Gives friends discounts for me, of course. I think you told me about that. But can she do Texas? There was a lady that I sold the filing cabinet to, and she said she did taxes in the Dallas area, and then she decided to go out on her own, and she moved here, and she said she did taxes and stuff. And the last filing cabinet, she wanted another filing cabinet, and I got another one in, and I called, I messaged her, sent her a message, said I've got another filing cabinet if you wanted another one. And she said that she was having to drive the school bus because they had people call in. So apparently works for the school bus or school transportation. And she's not really a full-time tax person. And that makes me a little leery. I mean, because you can go to the H&R Block and I can guarantee you probably 80% of them don't have a clue about social media. And that's what I got to have somebody that knows what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. Because I've got too much income to not have something to write off. She can handle all the states, super certified and everywhere. Okay. I wonder. Well, but I wonder maybe if you know her personally, see if she can email me and just maybe give me a list of what I can take off, and then I could like when we get to that point, I could just send her the numbers and stuff, and she could tell me what it would cost me for her to do it. If I don't know, I have no clue. I don't know if it's $50 or $500. I don't have a clue. It's just like I was trying to find. That is my girl, buddy. Okay, cool. Uh, just like I was trying to find somebody to clean the house. My daughter was doing it, but now she got a different job and she's working more. Known her for 30 years. Cool. Yeah. Eh, See if she can email me like what I need to write down, and then I can write it down and then send it to her, and then she could shoot me a price at what it would cost me to do it. But anyway, I was trying to find somebody. All they had to do is sweep and mop and dust. That's it. 'Cause I pretty much keep the bathroom clean. I'll email and introduce you to. Okay, cool. That works for me. One girl, there was two of them that worked together. They wanted $80. This last girl that I talked to, she wanted $75. And I'm like, you don't realize this is a little house. This is, I get it if it was a big 2-story house or something like that. I am one person. I take my shoes off at the front door. There's very little, honestly, to clean. 30 minutes tops to clean this house. I just don't have time to do it. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to take the time because I'm not paying somebody $75 to come sweep and mop and dust. And the dusting is mostly just the cobwebs. I don't know. But anyway, what I was talking about on taxes, I don't have a clue on what people charge. I didn't have a clue on what people charge to clean houses. But Marissa will give you a full consultation free. Cool, that works. Yeah, send her any of my emails. It works for me. Or she can text me. Yeah, you got my number. She can text me if that's it. Well, it's probably to write it all out. It's probably easier to email it. So I don't know. I hate doing anything on my phone. Like the car lot guy was sending me links, and I would just highlight it, copy it, and paste it into email and email it to me so I could look at it on the computer. No, I didn't pay him $75. And then she come back. She said, "Well, what was you expecting to pay?" I said, "Honestly," and I know where she lives is about 15 miles, maybe 20 miles from me. And I know she needs compensated for gas. I get that. So that's what I told her. I said, I was looking like $40, 50 at the most, you know. I would pay that once a month. That's all it really needs. And like right now, it hasn't been swept or mopped in 3 months. And you probably are not going to be able to find much to sweep up. It's just, I just know that it probably needs it. That's why I had my daughter just doing it once a month, and she piddled around and talked and everything else, and she could still do it in 30 minutes. And I've got all the stuff, and if I didn't have the stuff, I'll get the stuff. They don't have to do nothing; just show up and do it. But apparently, there's nobody that cleans houses in the town where I live. But I don't want to just hire somebody off the street because I've got too much stuff in my, the review products, not to mention my camera. And I got some things around here I don't want to disappear. The money, I don't keep that much cash. I think I got like $60 cash right now. If that disappeared, I would not be happy, but I'm not going to freak out. But if my camera disappeared, yes, I'm going to freak out. And as far as the stuff I review, if they was wanting to steal it, if they just asked for it, I'd probably give it to them. Only email, introduce you tomorrow. I'm off to bed. Good night, boys and girls. Good night, Steve. Appreciate it. And we'll find out more about Durango later. I'd like to do that. Oh, that would be a good title. The Final Ride, or the Final Road Trip, or the Last Road Trip. Something. Hopefully it won't be the last road trip. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 40, $50 tops. But I don't know. I understand that everybody wants to make as much as they can for doing what they're doing. But, if I was going to go into the house cleaning business, I would say, look, my base pay is $30 an hour, but I'm not going to shoot a quote until I come and look at your house. I wouldn't quote nobody nothing until I saw the house. I could meet you and call mine the Rodeo Roadshow. There you go. Hey, that actually sounds like a good one. Good night, Mr. Steve. Have a good one. And talking about that sleeping in the Yukon, that's, I was telling my mom, I said that right now, when I was camping so much, that's been 6 or 7 years ago. Actually, I think I was telling Emily. Anyway, I was telling somebody, that's been 6 or 7 years ago. I may not want to be crawling in and out of the back of that Yukon, but it was easy and I could sleep so good. Get those black hats and put them in the windows. Oh, coyotes off in the distance. Woke up one morning and out here in the lake towards Electra or out that way, going west of Wichita Falls. Woke up, opened the back end, cattle, surrounded by cattle. I said, "Good morning, fellas." But man, you get that fire going, just that smell early in the morning, kind of cool. The bass are down there jumping. Oh man, I love it. And that was the good thing about Yukon. If you go by yourself, you don't need to set a tent up and all that. You can sleep in the car. I mean, depends on how much you got to carry, and if there's two people that setting the tent up, it'd be easier. I got a brand new tent, ain't even been opened. Bought it, and I actually paid for it. It wasn't a review item. I think I've had it 2 years. It's just sitting over in the Emily storage shed, still in the box. My dad and I did that when I was young. Slept in the car. I woke one morning and yeah, and if you're like at a state park or something, you can smell everybody else cooking. They got bacon frying. And woke up one morning in the middle of a farmer's market catalog. Oh boy, I had never done that one. I did go camping at what was that? Over by Altus, Oklahoma, Quartz Mountain, and the campsite was off the road, but there was a little walkway, but wasn't nobody walking or nothing. Woke up in the morning, unzipped that, and people are riding bicycles by and walking. Wrong car parked to snooze. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, my when I was doing the Chat GPT for the road trip, it was talking about sleeping because you want to be somewhere safe. But it was talking about Walmart parking lots and truck stops and stuff like that. And that's why it came up with Pagosa Springs because for that route that was the safest because they have patrols that patrol the forest roads and stuff. But and I watched a few videos and everybody was talking about how quiet and peaceful it is. I just don't. I don't want to do Walmart parking lots, and if you're using a regular RV or something like that, would be different. And if I do get an RV, I mean a Yukon or something like that, and start doing the camping again, I do want to get some more. I'll do some reviews on some cameras. That one time I went camping down here at Lake Nocona, which is east of here, kind of southeast, I think. Henrietta, you gotta be east of us. Anyway, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear somebody knocking on the hood of my car. There's a guy and his dog checking on me, making sure I was all right. I just popped the door open like it was nothing, and I got thinking, that was kind of foolish, not knowing it because I had everything blacked out. I had the little insulated things that you can stick in. I had to cut them out. They sold it at Walmart by the roll. It's shiny on one side and it's insulation stuff. I forgot what it's called, but anyway, couldn't see. But next time I'll have cameras set up. You can buy those little magnetic cameras for a little bit of nothing. That is definitely will be one thing I will have if I get to start doing this again. But I originally was wanting a pickup. But then I got to thinking about the camp. The pickup, I really like the idea of because I was going to plan on getting an enclosed trailer, which even if I've got an SUV, I'd still plan on getting an enclosed trailer. But for now, the SUV would work fine for hauling stuff. There's a book I watched that stealth camps all over the place in both his minivan and the Sprinter. Oh, Sprinter van. Some of those Sprinter vans were nice. Some of them are very, very expensive. We're talking $150,000 sitting on a Mercedes chassis, but they got the beds, they got a bathroom, little kitchenette. They're nice. When I used to do all that camping and go to those meetups and stuff, some of them would open up their vehicles and campers and let you look at them. The schoolers, I walked through 5 or 6 school buses that they had converted over. 2 of the girls, one of them traveled with parrots. She had 3 parrots, and she was in a minivan. And then a few of the people had like the Sprinter vans, and the one lady that I talked to all the time, she just had a regular, like the old Good Times vans, with the high top where you could stand up in it. Those were cool. And I started to get a van, but I never did. My Yukon worked perfect for me because I got a little plastic dresser. It's an older van, but it's bad inside of it. Well, Sarah and I have talked about getting one of those with Charlie. Charlie moves out. Well, a Sprinter van. I wished the guy really. It makes me think of you, and they live up there in Utah somewhere. I think I told you about them, but that's what they started off. Actually, they were just dating, and they wanted to take a trip, and that's where they made all their money. They went from Utah all the way down to the very tip of Mexico, South America, like far down as you could go. And then COVID hit, and they wound up having to leave their van there and fly back. And then they wound up buying some property up there in the mountains there in Utah. And now they've got a big, nice house. And now they have two. They got married on their road trip, and they've got two kids now. I watched them the other day, Trent and Allie. Let's see. Dashing Grandpa. Oh, I'm going to have to. Trent and Allie. So that's what they started off in, was this man. I originally started watching him because it's when I was trying to find me a bicycle, and he was doing a lot of the mountain biking and the trails and all that. Well, I want to go the opposite way. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're sitting at 481,000 subscribers, so you know they're banking. And most of those subscribers subscribed from when they was taking their road trip. Yeah, they got two kids now. That's what I was thinking they did. Yeah, really not. I talked to him. We like instant messages back and forth a little bit a few years ago when we was talking about bicycles and stuff like that. Really nice couple, younger. They're your age, Caleb, probably. I'm somewhere in there. He got hurt a while back because he tried to get into full contact boxing. He was doing that, and he went to a match and he got pinned, and it like twisted his ACLU or whatever, like your knee area, somewhere in that, and messed his leg up. But hopefully, he got over that. But pretty cool. I don't know if Gus lives there. He's got a drone. This is where they built the house. Can't show too much of it. It'll be copyrighted. But he's bought equipment. I guess they're adding on. They built this. Him and his wife, and then he had a couple of people helping him. But he built. They literally built this house themselves. So really cool. But that's how they started. Was in the van, and I guess I don't know if they'll ever go back to camping again. Maybe when they, maybe like when y'all are talking, or like y'all are talking about when Charlie gets bigger and grown. But he might want to go with y'all. I don't know if you watch Roman Atwood, but he's got uh, one, two. Technically, he's got four kids, but two little ones. They just bought a big bus, big diesel pusher, and they live in Ohio, and they're down in Florida right now. Her mother lived in Florida, and she come to Ohio, and then they've been taking a road trip. But some of these YouTubers make like him and like Trent and Allie, they make big money on this YouTube. I just want to be able to buy a vehicle and maybe a little house. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy this house because I don't like the way the yard is, but a house this size is all I want. Unless I got a 4-bedroom, I could use a 4-bedroom. Office, studio, storage room, and then a bedroom. Actually, I could use a 5-bedroom so I could have a guest room. But I don't want no 2-story. Oh, going up and down stairs is not my ideal of fun. Oh, wow, it's 10:40. I'm just rattling away. So which way would you want to travel, Caleb? Like, go to the East Coast? You're already on the West Coast, basically. I've never been like North Carolina and places like that, but it's pretty. I've been, Arkansas and Georgia and Tennessee. That's all real pretty, but I've never made it all the way to the East Coast, and I've never made it all the way to the West Coast. We only have a single story event, but we do have a basement that we really don't go to anymore. Yeah, that would be me. And I mean, that's basically a 2-story. You still got stairs. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to go up in a sunken living room. Yes, 1 or 2 steps, but to go up a whole flight of stairs, no. I'd rather have it just spread out, or like a mother-in-law's house, I guess you could call it. West Coast. Well, you wouldn't have far to travel. A couple of hours. But going up, I've seen videos of like up in the redwoods up in northern California and Washington State. That would be beautiful. Was it Yosemite? That would be cool. See Canada and then back. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. I wonder if you have to have a passport to go to Canada. To drive. If you was like driving. I've only been to South America, Cozumel and Progreso. And it's the only place I've been out of the country. We've driven there several times. My sister and them used to go up to Canada, but I don't remember if they had to have passports or not. And that was before. Was that before 9/11? I don't remember. Oh, you do have to have a passport. Oh, okay. Well, you're almost to Canada now. You from Wichita Falls to Utah, a little bit further, and you'll be in Canada. We just went to LA, and it was about 6.5 hours, but then all the way up. Yeah, Grandma showed me some pictures. Y'all don't ever send me pictures, but a lot of times she sends me pictures. I missed we're going to get ours because Sierra wants to go on a cruise. I don't know if you have to have them for a cruise now. Because remember those 2 I went on, they were talking about it, but it had never passed where you had to have a passport. You just had to have your birth certificate. So I don't know if on a cruise ship, if you fly into another country, you have to have a passport. But on a cruise, you didn't have to, but that may have changed. That's been several years ago now. I worked with a kid. He looked at me one day and asked me if I remembered 9/11. Then was amazed when I said, yes. I said, yes. Yeah. Wasn't that long ago. You have to have a passport to go on a cruise. You don't always need a passport for a cruise if it's a closed loop, one starting and ending in the same port and doesn't visit certain regions. However, a passport is required for cruises that begin and end in different U.S. ports or to certain foreign countries or include places not covered by exceptions. So there you go. Well, I don't know y'all may take the Alaskan cruise since y'all are over there towards the west, but like going from out of Galveston, you go out of Galveston and you come right back into Galveston. So, but you did have to have your birth certificate. I remember that. Yeah, I know that's wild. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder there, Caleb. I really appreciate that one. You realize I am 60. I'm what I used to call an old man. 36. Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Uh, I went out to just outside of town the other after we had to show our passports when we went on the Alaskan cruise, as it went to Vancouver too. Oh, that's one I that's one I want to do and see the Glacier National Park. Yeah, that would be Paula. Aunt Paula always said that the Alaskan cruise would be pretty. But I would kind of like to do it to go see the Northern Lights. You sent those pictures, and I was asleep when you sent the pictures, and I wished I'd have woke up because people around here got pictures. And I went out here the next night, and you couldn't tell nothing. But I'd ordered a new lens for my camera, and it did a really good job for the astrophotography. That 16 millimeter, it really surprised me. But I wished I would have went out the night before and got some of those pictures. I don't think we'd have saw it as good as those pictures you sent me, but that was cool. But it would be fun to take an Alaskan cruise and when the Northern Lights was going on. I'm thinking of Whataburger. I don't know though. I got Hot Pockets in there I could heat up and I wouldn't have to go anywhere. I saw the Northern Lights when I went to Finland. Oh, yep. Even the Steve that was here earlier, he's in Denver, and he said that it was the first time in his life he had ever seen him. They saw him from Denver. Supposedly, you could see him from almost just north of Houston. So that's as far as I know, that's never happened. You know, I'm eating Smarties. Maybe it'll help me get smart. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a hot pocket night. Man, that one was sour. Yeah, it's really dark in that town. It's kind of scary dark. I just went out here north of Burke, and the one lights I couldn't tell if they were the casino lights or if it was the northern lights, but it was right on the horizon. I think I couldn't tell for sure. You're eating yogurt because I went to the dentist again today. I heard you've been going to the dentist. Hopefully, they get everything fixed. Glad you're getting all that done. Now, don't you wish you'd have listened to me when you was younger and I kept telling you to brush your teeth? And that one was sour too. I don't like sour stuff. But yogurt's good. I like what was it, strawberry? There was a yogurt place on Kemp Street, right down from the Olive Garden. Went there a few times. That was really good. Okay, that's enough of those. Well, just take care of them after you get them all fixed, and you should be in good shape. Oh, I forgot to ask you. I got something that you might want. I took it off my bookshelf. It's if you want them, I'll send them to you. Yeah. They're whiskey glasses. It's like it comes in a little wooden box, but I'm probably just gonna put them up. Dennis don't like me. The last one I met. Oh no. Hang on just a second and I'll go get a picture. I'll see if you want it. Actually, I'll just go get it. Hang on. I'll be right back. And these little things apparently, hold on. Apparently, these little dice looking things, you put them in the freezer and you put them in the glasses to keep your whiskey cold and they don't melt. This was just a little, this is what you're supposed to put the little stones in, I guess, and put the whole thing in the freezer. I don't know. Anyway, if you want them, let me know. If you don't, I'll just sell it. It was, yeah, they're pretty nice. I mean, you don't have to use a good orange glass. They're kind of dusty because they set out. I had them sitting on my bookcase, but I changed the bookcase up, and then I put all my shot glasses up there, and now I've changed that up too now. But if you want it, let me know, and I'll send it to you. Otherwise, you will have to. You'll wind up with it anyway. Whiskey snuff. I guess that's what you call them. They're just like little granite filling stones, and you put them in the freezer. But you know, I never, you know, I don't really drink. I've got a bottle of 40 Creek. I think that's bourbon. I've had it 6 years, 7 years, and there's about this much out of it. I don't know if it gets old or not. Every once in a while, I say I'm going to go get me one of them 8 packs of Coca-Cola, the little short ones, and pour a little bit in it, and then I wind up doing something else and forget about it. And hmm, hmm. We'll see what happens and what the plan on a trip is. I could just bring them to you. That would be fine. But I got to think reality too. You know, I could ship them to you and you'd have them next week because today is Thursday. But if you don't want them, it's not a big deal. I'll put them on the trading post or something. I don't know if I guess Jace drinks. I don't know, but I thought I'd offer them to you first. I got no need for them because I'm probably not going to put them back up. They didn't fit in that bookcase right anyway. They stuck out about that far. I don't even remember. What? Let's see. Whiskey. You can just do that. Oh yeah, here's the video. 1 year ago. Probably cheaper to send them. Yeah. I don't know if they don't even have them currently unavailable. See, they're not available anymore. You've got one of a kind. You'll need to pack them well, as the post office will only play football with the package. Yeah, well, in that box that's got the foam packing in it, so they're not gonna move around, but then I've got some of that, uh, little thin white packing stuff that they send packages in. I could wrap it up and wrap it up and wrap it up and do it way, and it should be safe, and if it broke, it's not, you know. It says crystal glasses. I don't know. Caleb says, "Keep the glasses, just send me the whiskey." No, I don't know. See, I've got so many videos, and they don't even go to anything anymore. What was I doing there? I put it in my little photo box. Whoa, look at the black lines over here. Hmm. Oh, bonanza. You can tell, Bud, I've been watching it comes up on my algorithm here. I'll pause that. I watched some bonanza today too. I have this been literally a lazy day. I did not do any reviews. I did wash the dishes, and That's pretty much it. Well, I ran to Subway for Emily. She wasn't feeling good, so I went and got her Subway. I felt so sorry for that kid down there. If I knew how to make sandwiches, I would have volunteered my services. She called it in. She said it's supposed to be ready in 10 minutes. Well, it was probably about 12 or 13 minutes before I got there. And I walked in the door and there was one lady in there and he was trying to make her sandwich. He goes, did you have an online order? And like stuttering like that. Yeah. I said, should be for Emily. I haven't got to it yet. I'll get to it in just a minute. And that lady kind of looked at me and kind of shook her head. So apparently, as I know now, she had probably been there for a while. And he got hers done. Then he started making Emily's. And he's like, I am new. He goes, and I'm here by myself. He goes, I'm the newest one. And they put me by myself till 4:00. And this was like at 3. I told him, I said, just relax, slow down. Everything will be right. If somebody comes in and they're in that big a hurry, they can go down the road to somewhere else. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I said, don't worry about it. And then he put made the sandwich, put the meat and stuff on it, put it in a little oven back there. And then he said, he took it out and he goes, oh man. I said, yeah, you kind of left it in there a little bit too long, didn't you? Because the edges was dark. I mean, almost black. He goes, no. He goes, I put the wrong meat on it. And then some kind of homeless looking people come walking in. And he was like, did y'all have an online order? No. Well, it's going to be a little bit because I've got some online orders and I got this one I got to do. And they said, well, we'll go out and take a smoke break and we'll be back. Oh, yeah. I felt bad for him. And he was freaking out because he messed that sandwich up. And I said, don't worry about it. I said, just slow down. He was probably about 16, 17, maybe. I don't know. He was real young. I said, just slow down and just work one thing at a time. It'll all come together. And he finally got it right. And then he had another online order. And before phone call order, and then a guy came in for an online order. So he had like 3 or 4 orders waiting, and he was slow, and he was having to look at it and put one item on it and look at the ticket, put another item on it. And I felt so bad for him. I thought, man, if I knew anything about doing this, I would try to help him. But I remember when you worked, I knew you worked for him, but and hand one, yeah, he answered the phone. Then he washed his hands, put gloves on. And I mean, he did health wise, he did everything good. He was just getting overwhelmed, and there wasn't nobody in there. I was the only one. Well, that lady was there. Then I came in, and then a few minutes later, the kind of homeless looking people came in, and then the guy came in for an online order. But I mean, it wasn't like there was 5 or 6 people waiting in line like the Subway at Walmart. That's the way it usually is there. Oh yeah, he was a mess. He goes, I'm the newest one, and they put me by myself. And when he was ringing that lady up, he was trying to figure out what buttons to push on the cash register. I thought, oh boy. I was there probably a good 20 minutes. It took him 20 minutes to make one sandwich. I thought, boy, if you worked at a busy one, you'd have probably just walked out. No, he was not ready to be on his own at all. I'm sure it's probably easier when you're working with somebody because you can kind of help each other. But he was by himself. He had nobody to turn to, and poor kid. And he was back there mumbling to himself. So I don't think he was all together, but he was doing his best. I told him, I said, don't worry about it. Just slow down, take it easy. It'll all be okay. I said, you'll get it figured out. I should have told him, you know, go ahead and turn your notice in and find you a different job. Go to work at McDonald's. At least you got support there. Yeah, I mean, he did everything by the book as far as cleanliness and whatnot, but uh, 20 minutes to make a sandwich. That wouldn't. I've never worked anywhere like that, but I've been around Subway enough to know 20 minutes to make one sandwich would never fly in a busy store. Not especially like the one at Walmart, man. There's usually 4 or 5 people waiting in line. But I don't know. Yeah, he was thrown in the deep end. I don't know who owns this Subway, but they or the manager anyway. The owner may not be responsible. It may be the owner's responsible for the manager, but they should never. I don't think you should leave anybody in a store like that by yourself, unless somebody was supposed to be there and they called in. Who knows? Yeah. Usually at Walmart, a lot of times there's 3 people, but most of the time there's always 2. But a lot of times you'll see there's one down by the register and one making sandwiches, and there's usually somebody in the back, But a lot of times I saw 2, but the majority of the time there was 3 in there. No, I don't know. My only food service was washing dishes for one shift at Red Lobster. Asking to be robbed or just one employee. Yeah, I know one of those. I didn't know you're still here at Pork Chop. Whatever. I mean, if you hurt yourself, yeah. Well, one of those kind of homeless looking, because that Subway is right on the interstate. And when they come walking in, the guy had a backpack, and I thought, mm. And, but I guess they were okay, unless they was trying to wait till I left. But the guy that came in from behind me was a lot bigger than I was, but he was real quiet and timid acting. And I thought, if you pull out a gun or something, we're going to have a problem here. But the guy left the homeless couple, he left his backpack in there. And I guess it was bad thing. My car was sitting out there running, but I thought, well, if you jump in it, you're only going to go so many feet and it's going to die because they're supposed to die if the key is not in it. I don't know if they really do. I've never tested that, but they're supposed to. Right. Of course, I guess if they would have stole it and took off with it and crashed it out, then insurance probably wouldn't pay enough to pay it off. Be my luck, but anyway, everything I don't know. But I guess that couple was all right. I didn't ever see where they went when I left. I didn't see them, but there's a thrift store right next to that Subway, and they might have walked over there. I don't know, because I would guess it was going to be at least 30 to 40 minutes before he got to them, because he had 2 or 3 receipts, I guess, sitting on the desk. I guess that was the online orders. So, and if he was taking 20 minutes to make one sandwich, it was going to be a while. Kind of wished I had a Subway sandwich right now. They had one up there. It looked pretty good. Philly cheesesteak sandwich. I've been curious to what happens. I don't know. I got the sandwich, took it to her, and then came back here to get back into my lazy seat here. Thought about starting my car and giving my keys to Sarah and driving me. I don't know what happens. I guess I could. I guess I could find out, couldn't I? I know they're supposed to. They're supposed to die when you get like so many feet from it, because I know. I know. Well, they may not even go into gear, because it seems like, if I remember, yeah, it died. Emily's car, but it's a newer. It's a Rogue. It's a 2021 or 22. Because when we went to Bowie one day, because she always drives, but she can't back very well, so I take over because you got to get out and pay the lady at the window, and I got in the driver's seat, and a couple of cars in front of us had moved, so I started to put it in drive, and it seemed like it died. It wouldn't even go into gear; it just died. It said no key detected. She had the key in her pocket. But I don't remember for sure, but I don't know about mine because mine's a 17, so I think they still have to. I think they still have the deal where you get a foot long and get another for dog. Oh wow, that would be good. I know. Well, I'll just be in City View tomorrow. I think say I may go to Taco Casa tomorrow, but I'll just be in City View. My youngest granddaughter's their Thanksgiving, and it's supposed to be at 11:30. I have to set my alarm. I should be up, but just in case. I'm usually up by about 9:30. You have to be within 100 feet for the car to move. Oh man, banana pudding. Is that graham cracker on the top of it, or it looks like caramel? Banana pudding with a crust. Hmm. Some will sound an alarm too. Huh. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You know, the other night I was trying to show my phone, and it kept getting that glare. I wonder why it's looking so clear now. Huh, that's weird. Biscoff cookies and cookie butter. Huh. Well, banana pudding is my favorite, so I'd definitely be trying some of it to see how good it was. Oh man, and I haven't even ate, and I'm hungry, and you're sending me that. And ain't nowhere to get banana pudding at this hour. Well, Market Street, if I want to drive all the way into town. Oh, I keep tossing the ideal around whether I want to run the Whataburger or if I want to just do a hot pocket and call it good. I got some croissant sausage and egg croissants in there too. But called DoorDash. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. You know, if you spend $12 on a Whataburger, DoorDash's fees is going to be $5 or $6. Then you're going to have to tip at least $5 or so. You know, it's going to wind up costing you 20, $25 to order a $12 hamburger. So, no. The last time I ordered Pizza Hut one time here, and it was, I think I got a medium supreme pizza, and it was like $36 to have it delivered. That was the last time. No, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. I forgot to eat before going. Oh, well, you could eat the banana pudding. That's soft. I don't know how people afford using DoorDash all the time. I don't either. I do not either. Yeah. Yeah, I used to when I was working all day, like from the morning all the way into the evening. A lot of times I would deliver like a breakfast burrito to the same apartment as I'd go to that night with some more food. I'm like, that's twice a day. Heck, I'll pay 15 for someone to get stuff for me sometimes. That's about what it costs. It would cost about $15 probably on top of if you could even get a DoorDasher at here in Berg at this hour. And this town rolls up the streets at dark. By 8 o'clock, there's very little traffic out there. You can go to the United grocery store about 8:30, and it's like midnight in there. There's 2 or 3 people walking around. One time my wife and I ordered DoorDash like 3 times in a day, got breakfast, a dessert from someplace, and then dinner. We said we ain't going nowhere. Well, that's why I did the pizza that one time, but I don't know. I could. No. Well, I could make another breakfast burrito, but I could just scramble some eggs, probably healthier. I bought frozen burritos, but I left them in Emily's freezer. I forgot to get them. We ran up to the dollar store. I said, "Oh, I need some of these because I got some queso, and that would be good." And then I forgot and left them there a couple of days ago. I should have grabbed them when I took that sandwich today, but I didn't think about it till just now. Yeah, them DoorDash fees are ridiculous, and I mean, I don't agree with it, but I understand why people don't tip because it costs so much to order it. But for for the driver, it's not fair. So I don't blame the drivers for being upset, and I don't blame the customers for not wanting to tip. I blame the food delivery people, the company. I can see when the weather is bad, but somewhere every day. Huh? That's my splurge is to not spend money. Depending on what you do. Like when I was doing delivery, my thoughts were take your gas, what you're spending in gas that day, and then what it costs you to eat and stuff. Because if you're out working half a day or all day, you're gonna eat once or twice. And by the time you add your gas and all that, everything up, say that's 20, 20 to $25 for 2 meals and gas. You've got to at least make that. If you can make as much in one day as you spend that day, then you broke even for the day. Anything you make more than that, that's profit. So drivers should start getting personal customer. Yeah, I know a lot of rideshare people did that. they would be doing rideshare for Uber, and then they would say, "Hey, they'd have little cards on the back of the headrest and say, "Hey, I do this on my own too. If you want to call me directly." Yeah, that would be good. And I know a lot of people do the personal shopping too. They'll be was doing shopping orders for what was that? Instacart. I know a couple people did Instacart, and they wound up just being personal shoppers. I think you would get a lot better shopping orders because if you had a personal shopper, they're going to make sure the bananas are the way you want, make sure the avocados are the way you want, uh, and actually check dates on milk and things like that. Whereas just a regular Instacart or Spark shopper, they're just going to grab the stuff and go. And a lot of people back home that would call me directly to cab rides, etc. And then I'd deliver in several restaurants too. Yeah, that would be the thing to do. I, re- I, I sometimes miss doing delivery or getting out and especially talking to the old people when you deliver to them. I had some customers that I would deliver to pretty regularly. They lived in, well, Cal will know where I'm talking about, behind American Car Wash, but that zero lot line houses back there, really, really nice houses, very well off people. But they'd always invite me in, and a lot of times they would tip me with a bottle of wine because somehow or another something was said the first time. I think it was like New Year's Day, and they was getting wine. I said, "Well, you'll be set for New Year's Eve." I said, "Oh, I have to find me some," just making conversation. And from then on, that old lady always tipped me with, I mean, they'd give me a little cash too, but they would give me a bottle of wine. I don't drink wine, but they tipped me real good one day because they had an order and they didn't have, they needed a toilet plunger. And I wound up, it wasn't on, it was a curbside Spark order. And I wound up going up to Target store and buying them a plunger because Walmart was apparently out because it wasn't on their order. I think they gave me like 50 or $60 for just being nice. Uh, that was a 1 mile drive. And they was probably in their 80s, maybe a little older than that. Childress or Childress was their last name. I guess they were very influential people in Wichita Falls. But I miss some of that. But what I don't miss is having to fill up with gas 2 or 3 times a week. I don't miss that at all. Yeah, yeah. He had it in a bunch of cash in like a hallway entry drawer. When you walked into the house, there was a staircase going up to the left, big old living room on the right, but it was a big entry hall you walked in. Because I always, Spark says you're not supposed to go in the house, but I always sit there, carried their stuff in. I just sat at the bottom of the stairwell, but I didn't go all the way into the kitchen and whatnot. But yeah, I think I filled up. Today's the 20th. This is Thursday. Sometime last week. And I've been to town a couple of times. And I still have like a half a tank, maybe a little over half a tank. So a tank will last me a couple of weeks. Or it used to, it would last me a couple of days. I don't miss that. And with that Amazon Flex opened up here, that was another thing I was thinking about. If I got that Yukon, is I could haul bigger stuff if I wanted to pursue that. But unless something happens to me doing the Amazon stuff, I don't plan on ever going back to delivering. I mean, I want to keep it available just in case, but it's kind of nice. But on the other hand, I'm getting lazier. I don't miss that petrol filling up every day. Yeah, definitely not. Well, I think I am going to get off here and go. I guess I'll just settle for the Hot Pocket for tonight and go eat some yummy turkey from the school cafeteria tomorrow. Hopefully, they have ham. I don't know. I went the year before last and they didn't. I got there. I was standing in the hallway waiting on her class because they had multiple. What grade is Gracelyn in? I think she's in. Maybe that was. Maybe she's. I don't know. Whatever she was in that year, there was like three of, like say kindergarten. There was like three different kindergarten classes or first graders classes, and they told me that I was just waiting, and they said, "What class is she in?" I said, "I don't know. What's her name?" And she goes, "Oh, she's already in there sitting. She was already in there eating and stuff. She just thought I didn't show up, so I didn't even bother getting me a tray. I didn't have to wait in line, and I was just as happy like that." So I guess I'll get to go do that tomorrow. But she don't often ask me. That was the year before last. Last year, I don't know. I don't know. She didn't ask, but I figure I'll do it. I need to take my mama some hot chocolate anyway. I need to go put that by the front door so I'll remember this time. I keep forgetting. Yeah, nothing like good old school cafeteria sliced turkey or whatever it is they're gonna have. I don't know, but anyway, now I'm really thinking about that trip. That would be fun, especially if Steve would set me up in Durango. I'm going to bed. Good night. I love you. I love you too. Yeah, I gotta go fix me something to eat, and then I need to do some reviews. But everything I got to do, I got to do it outside pretty much. Anyway, love you too, son, and I will talk to you. I'll talk to you later. And you can text me anytime. Uh, and for everybody else, y'all can text me too. I guess. Pretty much everybody that's usually here probably has my phone number, or at least my email. Anyway, it's time to go fix me something to eat. And I know it's late to be eating, but I'm hungry. I'm a growing out boy. So, anyway, I will. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll fix me something to eat, and I'll watch that Bonanza because it's still open over on that screen. So, anyhow, well, Pork Chop, you've stuck with us good. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Ray. And anybody, I don't know if my mom's here or not. She hadn't texted or nothing. I figured she'd have texted seeing Caleb on here. But anyway, y'all have a good night, and y'all keep on dashing. I don't get to say it much longer. Remember, 1/1/26 will be a whole different thing. So we got a little over a month. So anyway, y'all keep dashing, dancing, prancing, doing whatever it is you want to do. Just keep doing something because you're going to grow old if you don't. The main thing is keep smiling and be nice to one another. That's the big one. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.